She not only delivers the weekend forecasts on Saturday and Sunday mornings on Channel 2, but she also takes us around the Lowcountry to tell us what's happening. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I talk with Chrissy Kohler. You know, it was back in February, I believe, when you were anchoring the weather segment during the news show, and I was trying to get to you, but you were busy.
Yeah.
And, you know, we later connected on Twitter.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Well, tell me, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, doing just great.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And if I remember, you came here to Channel 2 last year, late last year.
The end of November.
Yeah, as the weekend morning meteorologist.
Yes, that's correct. When
yeah.
they launched the new show in October, and then they brought me on in November. So.
And I know it was a tough time during that time. So tell me, what was it like when you first came here?
Awesome, awesome. It was great to be back. I had my eye on this job in particular. This was something that I wanted so badly. I went to Carolina,
yes.
So I wanted to come back to South Carolina, and this was kind of a blessing for me to be able to have this opportunity to move back to get to Charleston.
Yes.
One of the greatest cities in the state.
It really is.
Greatest cities in the country.
Yes, indeed. And tell me, how's the job doing right now?
Awesome.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes, indeed.
I think one of my favorite parts is, you know, I get to do the weather, but then on top of that, I get to go out and do all the events. You know, we're live every Saturday and Sunday at different events around the community, so I've gotten to meet some really cool people, be involved in some really cool events, and to help promote those and know that people are watching and then coming out and helping these folks out, which is awesome.
Yes. And let's talk about you moving to, if I can get this right, Missoula, Montana.
That's right, Missoula, Montana.
In 2011.
So, you know, I don't know if most people know how much of a struggle this business can really be.
Oh, yes,
but I started out my career as an assignment editor, answering phones, coming up with story ideas, making phone calls, and getting hung up on a lot. Getting yelled at a lot.
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
Viewers can be brutal, I tell you.
I know, absolutely.
And I was in meteorology at school at the time. I knew weather was my passion, knew that's what I wanted to do. And after about a year of looking, the news director from Missoula, Montana called me up. I had to look it up on a map. Oh, no joke.
That's how, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And he was like, I'm from Missoula. And I was like,
I don't know where this is.
I know where Montana is.
Right, but where is this?
So, it ended up being a really awesome experience. Completely different from anywhere that I'd ever lived before.
Sure.
It's a lot kind of like Asheville, but even more like Western. You know, think cowboys and Indians kind of thing going on out there. But it's in the mountains, so I got to wake up every morning and be surrounded by mountains and all that beauty and all that stuff. Oh yeah, very different lifestyle. It was a fantastic experience and lots of things that I can take away from that, but nothing beats.
I know, right? Absolutely. And so, talk to me about your time at KPAX as a weekend meteorologist.
Well, I started out as a weekend meteorologist, and you know, it was a great opportunity. It was one of those things that I was so grateful for, to be able to do that, the opportunity to have a job that I love, and to be able to do that and get paid for it. Like, how many people can say that? And then they kind of overhauled, actually, our entire morning show while I was there. And so after about 6 months, I actually got the opportunity to move on to the morning show, which, you know, I always thought of myself as a night owl. Turns out I'm kind of not.
Oh, really?
Turns out I'm actually okay with waking up at 3 a.m.
Yes.
As long as I have my coffee, I'm good with waking up at 3 a.m. So I had a lot of fun doing that. I had a great team that I worked with there. They've all gone on to bigger and better things as well. So that was a lot of fun working out there. And just getting to meet some cool people.
I was going to say, and you know, you touched on this earlier, but you were at the University of South Carolina, but you were just up the road at WIS, the powerhouse in Columbia.
I was. It was, I tell you, it's my career has been kind of a whirlwind and kind of a lot of luck, really. It has kind of followed me a bit around. I started out as an intern that summer, then did a little football Friday. Believe it or not, I shot football back in the day.
Those are the heavy cameras.
Big chunky ones. I wasn't very good at it, but I did my best.
Yeah.
And then I worked as a weekend assignment editor my last semester of college. So I was doing 7 days a week, news. Wow. Yeah. And then I was there for about 2 years before I moved on to Montana. So it was definitely an awesome experience, a great foot in the door. I had a lot of fun. I worked with some phenomenal people at the WIS. I mean, just good people. Craig Melvin,
Yes.
who's on NBC
Yes,
now.
yes.
I got the chance to work with him. So yeah,
Angie Goff.
Angie Goff, Stuart Moore, who's now in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
So worked with a lot of cool people and learned from some of the best in the business. So.
And what was so attractive about WIS out of all those other television stations?
Well, to be honest, it was the only one I applied to intern with. To be honest, when I was in journalism school, I didn't really, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I didn't really watch local news. And so it was kind of, well, hey, here's the NBC station, I'll apply for an internship there. They accepted me, and it's just kind of one thing after another after another. So I just, like I said, I got lucky.
Yes, indeed.
Really got lucky.
And speaking of college, it was the University of South Carolina for you. Can you describe to me who Chrissy Kohler was as a college student?
Oh dear. Do we really want to go down that road?
You can do that.
Let's see. Well, I was a sorority girl. I was Kappa Gamma.
Hey.
So I really enjoyed my time. Met a lot of great girls that way. In fact, developed some lifelong friends as a Kappa. I was obviously involved in the J School, and that eats up a giant chunk of your time to be involved in that. I got involved in church a little bit through the community. Twitter really helped a lot of things. That was a little bit after college, but yeah, I would say I definitely enjoyed college. I had a lot of fun.
Yes.
I had a lot of fun.
And speaking of fun, I heard too that you actually studied abroad in Italy.
I did. Thank you for bringing that up. I almost forgot. I spent a semester studying, it's kind of an international journalism. It didn't have so much to do with the broadcasting side of things, but more of like the PR and kind of just international journalism there. But got the chance to live about an hour outside of Venice in a teeny tiny little town where I had to learn how to speak Italian. Still wasn't very good at it even when I left. I thought I was, but I turned out I kind of wasn't. But,
oh my goodness.
But it was an awesome experience. So much life lessons. I highly recommend to anyone who gets the opportunity, go study abroad.
And why Italy?
I've always been fascinated by the Italians. It just seems like such a cool culture.
Yes.
You got all that great food. The pizza and the pasta and the, the chickens and the wine and the desserts. So it's like, you've got the foodie culture. You've got all kinds of ancient Roman. I mean, we think about things here as being old, and they're 200 years old. And then you go over there and you're walking down the streets of Rome, and there's just something that's several thousand years old.
You can't really compare.
It's so different. It's so crazy. And they're a really friendly culture. The people were fantastic to be around. So it was definitely one of the highlights of my college career.
And once you graduated from the USC college, that is, you actually enrolled in Mississippi State with their famous broadcast meteorology degree, program that is.
I did. It's funny. I wanted to do sports when I started.
Oh, really?
Into the journalism, yeah. I was a musical theater major to start with. Here's my
please.
Musical theater major to start with. Then I switched to journalism. Wanted to do sports. During senior semester at USC, I kind of became the class weather girl, and my professors were like, you should really think about it. You're kind of good at it, and for a lot of people that don't really kind of realize it, is you've got the anchors who read off the prompter, and then you've got us on the weather side of things, and we ad-lib. So it's kind of two different art forms, if you will.
Oh, absolutely.
And they were like, you're great at the ad-libbing thing. You're really, you're solid with your facts and stuff. You should think about it. So I called my mom up one day and said, hey, I'm thinking about meteorology school. And she goes, you should do it. She's like, you've always been good at science. You've always been kind of in that field. And she's like, I think you should do it. So. Who knows me better than my mom, right?
Yes, indeed. And speaking of mom, you actually, you and Brad Frankel have something in common.
We do.
You guys are from Ohio.
That's right. Different parts of the state, but yes, we are both from Ohio. Sorry, there's a lot of us down here.
I know, right? Migrated here.
Yeah, I grew up outside of Dayton, Ohio. My parents still live there, actually. And then my younger sister, just moved from Columbus down to Charleston and is living with me actually now.
Oh, good.
And she's loving it. Yeah. So it's, I love Ohio for what it is and for where I grew up, but to be quite honest, this is this is home for me.
Yes.
South Carolina is where I want to be.
And let's talk about your years in high school at Tippecanoe.
Tippecanoe, yeah. High school, you know.
I'm thinking you were one of the most popular people around town.
Gosh, no. No. In fact, I was talking to one of our interns earlier this morning about how, you know, it's funny that throughout your life you kind of evolve, and when you weren't so cool, you eventually, your quirks and stuff that made you not so cool eventually become appreciated, believe it or not.
Sure.
I mean, I was kind of a nerdy kid. I was straight A student. I was in the honor classes. I was in the top 10% of the class. And, you know, when I was in high school, that was looked down upon as kind of one of the nerdy kids. But
it paid off.
I'm on TV now.
Yes, there you go.
That's kind of a cool job, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, talk to me about your memories of growing up in Ohio.
My memories growing up in Ohio? You know, it's very different. It's very different. It was, you know, you've got all kinds of stuff going on there. You've got the city. We weren't too far from downtown Dayton, so you had a lot of history there with the flight. The Wright brothers are from Dayton, with their bicycle shop and everything like that. So we had that, but then you also have a lot of Native American history. So we, as kids, we would take these field trips to go visit Indian mounds and Indian ruins kind of around the area. It's cold, snow, which I'm not a fan of. It's still humid there, though.
Well, like now, like here.
It doesn't get as hot, but it's still humid there. Yeah. So I was on the swim team, so I spent a lot of summers in the pool. Became a lifeguard as I got to high school, kind of thing. So played volleyball in high school. So that was, despite the fact that I'm 5'6", I somehow managed to do it.
Yeah, kick that ball.
So I have a lot of fond memories of growing up there.
Well, describe to me the following in one word. Zumba.
Oh, Zumba. Fun.
Yes.
Fun.
Running.
Passion.
Mine as well.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh, I run all the time, just this morning actually.
Nice. How far'd you go?
I ran from my house to the library and back.
Impressive.
And that's like...
In this heat too?
I know, right? You got to get it done before noon.
You got to get it done before 10.
That is true too. Because you really get sweaty by then.
Exactly.
One way to describe the beaches.
Oh, heaven.
Yes.
Heaven.
I want to go so bad.
I know.
Haven't had a chance though.
This week.
I'm going to do that. Probably tomorrow.
We're praying to the weather gods that we'll have a chance this week.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. One word to describe the weather right now.
Crummy.
Yeah, up and down, rain and now.
It's just, and it's not fun for us to have to tell people, hey, you got to take an umbrella with you everywhere you want to go. Especially because, as we all know, Charleston's a tourist town. So you've got people in Charleston that are maybe here for 4 or 5 days, and when 4 or 5 of those days are rainy, you're thinking, gosh, these poor people aren't going to see our beautiful city.
And they'll complain about it.
I know. But you got to come back.
Yes,
come back.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, one word to describe Chrissy Kohler.
Oh, gosh. Whew, you're asking the tough ones.
I tried.
I
dropped
Chrissy.
it.
Oh, no.
I did this with Octavia, folks. Jeez, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Let's see. I'd have to say, that's a good question.
Thanks. I try.
How about we go with bubbly?
You are.
I
really
like
are.
that.
You bring the energy out of me today.
I think that's an okay word.
Well, you know, we know that you love Zumba and running and the weather, of course. But what is something else that people don't know about you?
Oh goodness. Well, I'm a dog mommy.
Oh.
I'm a dog mommy. I've got a little mutt. She came from pet rescue up in Columbia, similar to our pet helpers down here.
Yes.
And she's my little baby. I just adore her. So she's kind of my second hobby, if you will, aside from work.
Well, of course, yes. And you know, you just got here, maybe last year, but I know you're thinking about your future. So when you look into your crystal ball, what do you see next?
What do I see next? That's a great question. You know, obviously, I think with anything in this business, you're looking for. I love what I do. That's the bottom line. I've you know, there's been points in my career where I've struggled with what was going to come next, and I definitely have thought about, well, do I want to get into PR? Do I want to try to go do this? And none of it seems to fit. This fits, and so I know I want to continue to do this. Of course, the goal is to do a Monday through Friday job, so that I'm not working Saturdays and Sundays for the rest of my life. But you know, for the time being, it's nice probably for the first time in my career to actually not be thinking about what the next step is, because I'm going to be here for a while.
Yes, under contract now.
Yeah, so you know, I've got another couple years, so it's just nice to sit back and just say, I'm just going to live in the moment for now and not have to worry about what's coming next. And we'll think about that in about a year and a half or 2 years down the road. And
continue to live in a great city.
Exactly. Yes. Enjoy all of that Charleston has to offer.
Well, Chrissy Kohler, it was so great talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for letting me sit down with you. It was so nice.
Thank you. That was fun.